I'm going to try and keep this video fairly brief because I'm still watching the coverage of the Box Nation card. First and foremost, Craig Evans versus Tom Stalker, the rematch. These guys gave us another good 10 rounds. It was actually quite an entertaining fight. Must not be very often this happens, but they fought to a draw in the first fight. They just fought to a draw over 10 rounds in the second fight. Do you know what? I don't have too big a problem with the result. I can actually see an argument for both guys winning by 1 round. Maybe a stronger argument on the Craig Evans side, but all in all, I think that a draw is actually possibly the fairest result here. I thought Craig Evans landed the more eye-catching punches. Despite his low KO ratio, seemed to be the bigger puncher in there. And I think Craig Evans had success getting on the inside and teeing off on Tom Stalker. At the same time, I thought Tom Stalker was the better boxer and had the better jab and possibly had the higher output as well. So, you know, they were kind of evenly matched guys. Tom Stalker, looking at him, you would think he would have the beating of a fighter like Craig Evans. The size difference was very obvious. Stalker's also got that hugely accomplished amateur background, you know, captaining the Olympian team. I felt there were 2 things wrong with Stalker tonight. Maybe 3 things, actually. I thought he was quite defensively open. And I thought when he started to throw combinations, he kept throwing those combinations for too long, leaving a gap open for Craig Evans to counter him. I thought Craig Evans had a really good job of counter-punching and timing Stalker. You know, Stalker doesn't have much punching power at all, so if he's going and flurrying on an opponent and hitting with so many combinations, perhaps he needs to get out of there, you know, score his points and escape. He let himself get countered too many times and hit clean by Craig Evans in this fight. Finally, and this was a bit of a surprise to me because, you know, Stalker is an accomplished amateur, as I say. His punches were very wide, very winging, very loopy. I felt he was a bit slappy at times, you know, which I thought cost him in this fight. Obviously, winging punches take longer to arrive, and that allowed Craig Evans to time him yet again, as I already referred to in the video. Craig Evans, I do believe he'd be better off at super featherweight. You know, the size difference was pretty excessive in there, and I really did feel like if Stalker addressed some of the things I've mentioned, he would have the beating of Craig Evans. So, you know, I think Craig Evans is going to struggle at lightweight because I think consistently he's going to be up against guys who are going to be able to box him from the outside. I don't think he'll be able to have the same success as he had against Stalker. As for Tom Stalker, it's difficult for him. Where does he go from here? Well, probably a third fight with Craig Evans. You know, it's a good fight. The public will watch it again, I'm sure. You know, and I wouldn't be against sitting through another 10 rounds for these guys. All in all, a fair decision. I just felt that Tom Stalker should have won the fight and kind of didn't due to pretty basic faults. Let me just touch briefly on Vijender Singh. I'm not going to talk much about his fight. He fought a journeyman and stopped him in 2 TKO type stoppages. I'm going to reserve judgment on Vijender Singh for now. It's actually the first time I've seen him. Obviously, there's quite a bit of chat about him. He's 30 years old, super middleweight from India, and he won by 2nd round KO tonight. He looked to have a bit of snap in his punches. Obviously, the level of opposition was relative. You know, to me, whilst he did some things all right in there, I wasn't so sure about his stance, his timing, his accuracy. You know, he did what he needed to do against the level of opposition he was in with, and it'd be interesting to see him step up in class. But at present, you know, he's 30 years old, maybe 31 even. He's not facing the top opposition in the world, and just from what I'm seeing, he's not giving me the impression that he's someone who's destined for top honours, despite that amateur background. But as I say, I'm going to reserve judgment till I've seen more on him, because he did do some things in there that looked decent. It's just, is that going to go over to the top level? As I say, I'm getting back to the boxing, so I'm going to cut this one short. Let me know your thoughts on these fights. Thanks for watching.